I thought that he was going to snap my neck because of the way that he was jerking my head around. And he had all of his weight on me, and he had all of his weight on my body, and he was jerking my head around with his hand in my hair.
Campbell County 911.
Ma'am, I killed my boyfriend in self-defense.
What did you kill him with?
A loaded gun in the house.
Can you tell me where the gun is right now?
The gun is in the house. I laid it on the bookshelf.
Where are you?
I'm standing about 10 feet from his dead body.
Okay, are you sure that he is dead?
He's dead, ma'am. He's completely dead.
Okay. And how long ago did you shoot him?
I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, not even that long. Like
10 or 15 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Shayna Hubers.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder.
Guilty! The woman who shot her boyfriend because he was about to ditch her for a Miss USA contestant sobs as she is convicted of murder. And there were audible gasps in court as the jury decided Shaina Hubers' sentence today.
We, the jury, fix the defendant, Shaina Hubers' punishment for the offense of murder at life imprisonment.
As the judge polled the jury,
is this your verdict?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Hubers turned to make eye contact with her family. Shaina Hubers shot her 29-year-old boyfriend Ryan Poston 6 times. Prosecutors said she was in a jealous rage because he was pursuing a relationship with Miss Ohio, who testified for the prosecution.
How did he strike you?
Funny and smart.
Ohio! Audrey Bolte was second runner-up in the 2012 Miss USA pageant. She testified that she met Ryan Poston on Facebook and he asked her out. She was waiting to meet Poston for a late-night drink when he was shot by Hubers, who found their Facebook messages setting up the date. Hubers drove over to Poston's apartment outside Cincinnati where she confronted him. She claimed she shot him in self-defense.
I grabbed the gun and I shot him.
The victim's mother spoke after the sentencing.
Ryan believed in the justice system, always, and it has not failed him.
October 18th, 2018, Newport, Kentucky. The Campbell County courtroom is frozen in a silence so dense it feels physical, like the air itself is holding its breath. The verdict has already been reached. A life has already been weighed. On one side of the room, Ryan Poston's family sits motionless, carrying grief no sentence could relieve. Across the aisle sits Shaina Hubers, 27 years old, calm, analytical, her posture steady, her face unreadable. Then the judge speaks, the gavel comes down, and with that single sound, everything ends and everything begins. Sentence: life in prison. For the public watching from a distance, it feels final, satisfying, justice served, case closed. But that sound was not an ending, it was a door slamming shut behind her, locking her into something far more enduring than death, because death is brief, death is silence, life in prison is time without mercy. It is waking up every morning knowing the calendar no longer belongs to you. It is watching decades stretch forward empty and unchangeable. It is understanding that while the outside world moves on, careers, marriages, children, aging parents, you remain suspended inside concrete and steel. This is not just the story of how Ryan Poston died. This is the story of what happens after the cameras turn away. This is the story of what it means to survive your own ending and disappear while still breathing. October 12th, 2012, Highland Heights, Kentucky. The scene inside Ryan Poston's condo was a nightmare frozen in time, the kind of chaos that leaves a permanent mark on every witness, every detail screaming a story that no headline could contain. Ryan was sitting at his dining room table when it began. 6 shots, each fired with precision, one after the other, no warning, no time to rise, no chance to react. First responders arriving described a scene that chilled them to the bone, not merely because of the blood, but because of her presence. Shaina Hubers, 21 at the time, stood over him, controlled, composed, almost surgical. She later told police and the 911 dispatcher that it was a mercy killing, that she had ended his suffering. The words themselves feel hollow when you imagine the truth. He didn't twitch, he didn't beg, she was determined. Every bullet was intentional, a conscious decision, a life extinguished in the span of a heartbeat. But what is even more terrifying is the premeditation. Weeks before she sent a text to a friend, a line that should have sounded alarms. When I go to the shooting range with him tonight, I want to turn around, shoot, and kill him and play like it's an accident. The warning was there, the opportunity to intervene was there, but nothing stopped the execution. Analyze her psychology for a moment. Was this an act of narcissistic obsession, a mind unable to tolerate rejection, a toxic cocktail of desire and control that created a temporary monster, or was it a calculated, unfeeling decision. Shaina Hubers entered the crime fully aware, fully in control, fully prepared to eliminate anyone who stood between her and her perceived sense of ownership over Ryan Poston. That night marked the beginning of her living death, because while one life ended, the other began an eternity of suspended time. Think about the calendar. Fast forward to December 2025. Out here life moves in a blur. Technology accelerates, families grow, careers advance, holidays arrive and depart. Yet inside the Kentucky Correctional Institute for Women, time has frozen. Shayna is now 34, her youth spent inside gray walls with fluorescent lights dictating every movement, every birthday, a reminder not of celebration but of lost years, every meal pushed through a metal slot, a signal that freedom is an illusion, every interaction observed, judged, catalogued. She shares a cell with women who committed crimes as horrific as her own, but she is not equal in the hierarchy. Celebrity inmates are a special target, seen as manipulative, attention-seeking narcissists, not feared, not respected, but watched and despised. The prison environment is a constant low-level terror. Every word, every glance, every minor infraction could trigger lockdown, or worse, it is a reality few outside can comprehend, a concrete cage of routine and control. The lights flicker on at 5:30 a.m. No sleeping in, no privacy, every action monitored, the laundry, the library, the menial chores meant to occupy her mind but never challenge it, the bright, sharp honor student reduced to a number, a case file, a shadow of the person she once was. And then there are the letters, hundreds of them written during her time awaiting her second trial, pages and pages to family, friends, strangers. The letters reveal a mind obsessed with her own story, managing her image, joking about her fame, critiquing media coverage like a celebrity, performing for an invisible audience. Meanwhile, Ryan Poston's family is living the permanent aftermath, attending funerals, remembering birthdays, imagining the milestones he would never reach. While she writes to amuse herself, she erases her own humanity, each word inked another mile marker on a timeline that has been stolen, a path of living death unfolding incrementally, meticulously, methodically. And here comes the philosophical question: is this punishment or cruelty? Disguised as law, is life imprisonment justice or revenge? For decades, she will inhabit this suspended state. Time will move outside, but never for her. The psychological toll is immense. The milestone erasure manifests physically every day. She grows older in a static world, skin pale, hair thinning, energy draining, concrete walls leaching life. The very air she breathes a constant reminder that she exists only as a ghost. The letters serve as a mirror. The reflection is clear: she is unrepentant, unremorseful, focused not on guilt but on legacy. As the calendar flips, the world continues unchecked. Families celebrate, careers thrive, while Shayna remains trapped in the same cell, counting identical days, 156 identical days, 1,476 identical meals, 1 million thoughts of what could have been, but nothing changes except the shadow deepening, the hair thinning, the vitality fading. The human experience she took from Ryan Poston is now being replicated on her own life, only in this case there is no end date, no finality, no mercy. This is what a living death looks like. Inside the Kentucky Correctional Institute for Women, Pewee Valley, Kentucky, the reality is brutal. The facility may appear quiet to outsiders, but behind the walls a complex social ecosystem governs every aspect of life. Hierarchies form instantly and reputation matters more than the law. Shaina Hubers entered as a known name, not just another inmate, but someone infamous whose story was broadcast in living color to the world. She became a target to those seeking validation by challenging someone the public already judged. She had to navigate interactions carefully. A single misstep could result in lockdown or physical harm. Every day demanded vigilance. Every conversation carried risk. The psychological strain compounded over the years until a life once full of potential was reduced to a sequence of predictable hours and predictable pain. Yet her mind remained active. The letters never stopped, hundreds written to family, friends, and strangers. They served as a coping mechanism, a stage for her intellect, a way to maintain identity within a system designed to strip it away. She critiqued her own media coverage, joked about her fame and her infamy as if they were trophies rather than evidence of a crime. While the Poston family grieved, she curated her image with meticulous precision. Each word inked was another assertion that she still existed outside the prison walls, but inside her body betrayed her. The fluorescent lights burned her skin, hair thinned, energy waned, and each day added weight to the realization that she would not live a normal life. She would never marry, have children, hold a career, own property, or even make small choices like what to eat or where. The external world advanced relentlessly, while she remained trapped in suspended time. Every milestone celebrated by her peers was another loss, another reminder that she had traded decades for concrete and steel. Every birthday passed unnoticed, but deeply felt every year closer to death, another layer added to her living tomb. And yet she adapted, she sought human connection where she could find it. She attempted a marriage in 2018 to a transgender inmate named Richard MCB. The union was brief, a desperate grasp at normalcy within abnormal circumstances, a simulation of a life she had discarded, a stark reminder that in prison some human experiences can be replicated but never fully realized, and legally the doors were closing. No more appeals, no more hope. The 2018 conviction, ironclad juror error that gave her a second chance would not recur. Her next significant date was a parole eligibility hearing decades away, mid-50s by the time she had a chance to speak for freedom, and by then the world she knew would be unrecognizable, her parents elderly or gone, her peers established in careers and families. She would confront freedom as a ghost of the woman who once was. The psychological weight of this reality is staggering, the milestone erasure complete. The body aging without the experiences that give it meaning. Each day a repetition of the last, each action observed, cataloged, monitored. The concrete walls absorb her vitality until she becomes a shadow, every task a reminder that she is no longer a human with autonomy but a permanent ward of the state. This is what life without parole truly means, not simply time served, but the systematic erasure of identity, a punishment of slow, relentless attrition. And here comes the ethical dilemma: do we call this justice or revenge? Can a mind capable of calculated cruelty like Shayna's ever truly be rehabilitated, or is the living death the only guarantee that she will never harm another human being? Some psychologists argue that genuine remorse is impossible for her. Without it, the routine is not correction, it is containment, a holding pen for dangerous potential. And yet outside the walls life continues, the world evolves, the news cycle moves on, technology accelerates, families grow older. Meanwhile, she counts identical days, each one a silent scream, each one a testament to the consequences of her actions. And in that tension between her mind and body, between the life stolen and the life she now endures, lies the story of the living death of Shaina Hubers, the human experience systematically dismantled while the world outside races forward. This is not speculation, this is the reality documented in reports, letters, and first-hand accounts. This is the unseen truth of life. Imprisonment, a life erased, a personality diminished, a soul trapped within concrete. And the philosophical question remains, is this punishment fair? Is it justice or cruelty disguised as law? The answer is not simple, but the weight of decades of monotony, isolation, and psychological strain may speak louder than words. Can a society truly claim justice when a person exists for 50 years as a ghost of themselves? This is the ultimate measure of punishment and the most sobering lens through which to examine the case of Shaina Hubers. The living death unfolds day by day, week by week, year by year, and the story continues through the shadows of her cell, the echo of her letters, and the silence of a world she can observe but never rejoin. We have to return to our philosophical dilemma. The no sympathy disclaimer remains. Ryan Poston was a son, a grandson, and a friend. He was a man with a future that was stolen in a hail of gunfire because he wanted to live his life freely. But as we look at Shaina Hubers, this aging, fading woman in a Kentucky prison, we have to ask ourselves, is this enough? Is the living death a more effective deterrent than the death penalty? There is an argument to be made that execution is a mercy, it ends the story. But a life sentence that is a daily confrontation with your own insignificance, it is a slow-motion execution that lasts decades. Some say this is the ultimate justice, that she should have to feel the weight of every second she stole from Ryan. Others say that keeping a human being in a concrete box for 50 years is a reflection of our own darkness as a society. So I'm putting it to you, the judge gave her life, but in your eyes, is life in prison a more civilized punishment, or is it a living death that is actually more cruel than the needle? Justice or revenge? Before you leave, I want you to look at the video on the left. It's our deep dive into the psychological profile of women convicted of premeditated murder. Seeing their behavior patterns side by side might change how you view this entire case. If you found this analysis gripping, hit the like button and subscribe. We don't just cover the crimes, we cover the consequences. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.